welcome back to my channel. Today I am giving you my top 5 concealers video. Now I have pretty dry under eyes, so I need to pick concealers that don't really cake up and aren't too drying on my skin. So if you'd like to see all of the concealers that I am in love with, then just keep watching. Alright, so to start out this video, I'm not going to go in any type of order of which one I like the most to which one I like the least. I'm just going to start out with drugstore concealers. So the first drugstore concealer that I really like is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, which a lot of people really like, and it's just very creamy. Now it doesn't give like a full coverage underneath my eyes. I have to give a couple of layers if I'm like really dark underneath my eyes, but I am in the shade 01, no, just kidding, but I am in the shade 10 Light. So the swatch of it is right there. I hope you can see it. But I would say that this concealer is a light to medium coverage depending on how much you put on and depending on how dark your under eye circles are or whatever you are trying to cover up. The second concealer that I like just happens to also be from Maybelline, and it is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and this is a really good concealer as well. I would say it's pretty similar to the texture of the other one, but this one is just formulated a little bit differently, and it has this weird little ball thing on the top of it, which is extremely unsanitary, but I actually kind of like it. It's just like quick and easy to apply to the places that I need it, and it just like cranks up, in case nobody knew. But for this one I am also in the shade Light. Here is the second one. Just a little bit lighter than the first one was. So this Age Rewind Concealer is also very lightweight. I wouldn't say it covers very much. I also have to put on a lot of layers, or if I'm just going for a more natural look, this is the concealer that I go for. But it is drugstore, so you're not going to get as great of coverage as you would if you had a high-end concealer. The next concealer is the Prolongwear concealer. I love this concealer. I've used this concealer for many, many years. I am in the shade NW20, and just for reference, I am in NW40 or NC40 for foundation from MAC. So I know this is quite a big jump, but I really like a really highlighted under eye. So for this one, it does come with a pump. The only bad thing about this is that when you pump it, you can't like do like a half a pump. It like squirts out everywhere. So I'm gonna try to put nope, see? It just pumped out like a huge glob. So the consistency of the MAC Prolongwear concealer is definitely creamy, and it definitely is thicker. It is definitely a high coverage concealer. So the color and this shade is it right here. Alright, moving on to more high-end concealers. The next concealer that I have for my top 5 is the Nars Creamy Concealer in Custard, just like everybody else has talked about. This concealer is pretty moisturizing for my under eye, actually. For some of the other ones, like the MAC Prolongwear, I do have to put a eye cream on underneath, because if I don't, it'll be like all crackly throughout the day. For this one, it is pretty moisturizing. I still put an eye cream on just because I usually always put an eye cream on, but this one is very moisturizing, and it is probably one of the creamiest ones that I have. For this one, I am in the shade Custard, as I said, and I'll put a swatch on my arm. I really like this concealer because it has a like doe foot applicator, so it's really easy to apply. And I would say this Custard color is closest to the color of the Maybelline Fit Me. These two concealers are very much alike. It even has pretty much the same packaging, and they have like the same doe foot applicators, but the Nars one obviously has a little bit more coverage than this one. So if you're not wanting to splurge for this one, I would say you could go get the Maybelline one. Sorry, I keep looking at the viewfinder. If you don't want to splurge for this concealer, I would say you can get the Maybelline one, but you're just going to have to put a few layers on. So moving on to my last, well, kind of last concealer. It is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I am in the shade Light Warm. Now this shade is really, really, really light for me, but I like to use it for highlighting. So what I like to do is conceal under my eyes with the Nars Custard, and then put this on top of like my cheekbones for highlighting, because this shade is very, very light for my skin tone. I love the formula of this one, and it has a really nice applicator. It has like two sides, and it's like really skinny in the middle. So it is very, very light. And what I like about this concealer is that it is very, very creamy, just like the Nars one, but this one is a little bit more drying. So I can't put this one underneath my eyes directly because it would just like start to flake off very, very quickly. So I just like to use this Nars one underneath my eyes, and then I use this to highlight on top of my cheekbone. I would say is pretty full coverage. It gives me a really, really, really nice highlighted effect on my face. I am wearing it today, but I don't know if you can really tell on my face because you didn't like see me applying it. As for the Nars one, I would also say that this one is pretty full coverage as well. I just need to put like one layer underneath my eyes, and just blend it out with a dampened beauty blender, and I am pretty good to go. As for the drugstore ones, I would say that they are both light to medium coverage. You have to put on a couple layers if you have dark under eye circles, but if you don't want to splurge in the high end, I would definitely say to get one of these two concealers from Maybelline. Alright, and then for this last one, I'm not really sure if it's a concealer or not, which is why I didn't put it in like my top 5 concealers. But this is the In Under Eye Corrector, and this is the Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector from IT Cosmetics, and I absolutely love this corrector. I'm almost out of another container of this. I think I've gone through like 3 of these. It's really, really nice. It has a really soft consistency, and it's really, I would say it's full coverage. So since it's a corrector, you can just like put it right underneath your eyes, right where you need it, and then you can put your concealer on top of it. And this does such an amazing job. So if you were using the drugstore concealers, I would say to also get the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector, because then the concealer would do absolutely perfectly. You would just use this just right underneath your eyes, like right here where your dark circles are the darkest, and then you could just put the drugstore concealer right on top of that and blend it in, and it's like a match made in heaven. This is like one of the best products if you have dark under eye circles, because it just completely covers them up without looking too cakey, because this is extremely moisturizing as well. I didn't put it into the like top 5 concealers because I wasn't sure if this was actually considered a concealer because it says it's a corrector, but you get 5 milliliters of product, which is 0.17 fluid ounces. I am in the shade light because I'm always in the shade light of everything, no matter what my skin tone is. But yeah, it's just a really great consistency, and I would definitely recommend this as well. So out of these 5, my favorite one is probably the Nars one, but I always use the Nars one with the Naked one. So I would say that these two are my favorites together. And then other than these two, I would say that it has to be the IT Cosmetics one, because I just absolutely love this one. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about any other types of concealers, just let me know. I have a ton of other ones if you'd like to see like my least favorite concealers video or something like that. So thank you so much for watching. I don't know why I just talked in an accent. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Comment down below something nice. And I will talk to you guys later. See you later. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, this is the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer, this is the MAC Prolongwear Concealer, this is the Nars Concealer in Custard, this is the Urban Decay Concealer in Light Warm, and this is the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer by IT Cosmetics.